What's up, Rockstars? Today I have the pleasure of telling you guys about The Witcher Old World. This will be the Kickstarter details and game details video, so if you want to know everything that you need to know before you head into that Kickstarter to see if it's worth your hard-earned money, this is the video to watch. There'll be timestamps down below. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, as always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that I'm able to make videos just like this, and it's because I make videos for you guys. It means I give my honest opinion and not my wallet's opinion, because I don't take any money from any game developer ever, so I can speak freely on the industry and freely on a review and not worry that they won't pay me for the next one or worry that I won't be able to partner with them for something else or anything like that. If you appreciate that level of honesty, then there is a link down below if you can give. I greatly appreciate it. You guys make a world of difference for this channel. If not though, that's fine too. This is all about community here, and so just a like, a comment, a subscription, anything like that is hugely beneficial, and I again am greatly appreciative of you being here right now. Regardless of anything you do, I'm just happy you're here. I really am. Now, before I get anything, I have two general announcements. One is to have a huge shout out to Lucas from Onboard, Game On Board. I'm recording this a little late, that's probably the other one, but he was a rock star, like all of you guys. He answered a ton. I pestered that man with some questions. I want to make sure I get all the details right. I want to make sure I'm telling you guys accurate information. And so I had a ton of questions, a ton of image requests, all of that. He was very accommodating for that. So this video would not be what it is without his help. So thank you so much for that help, and I hope it helps you guys in return. So give him a thanks, not just me. You can give me a thanks too, though. That's fine too, because I'm recording this at 1:35 a.m. I apologize if I am a little tired. I apologize if I may not be my exuberant self that you guys so know. I'm still in my work shirt. I've been working all day. I'm wanting to get this out day one for you guys, so that when this video posts, there is a link down below to that Kickstarter. It is live right now, and you can back this game right now if you so choose. So at any time, if you feel you've seen enough, that's fine. If you want to keep watching the video, that's fine too. Either way, there is a link down below, so you guys can just conveniently go there and maybe check out some more information, see if there's any stretch goals going on that I don't even know about. We'll discuss all of that really soon here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start in game details first, and then I'm going to do a Kickstarter details. So if you're only interested in one or the other, again, you can use those timestamps down below. I put those there for your guys' convenience. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, now I do have notes. I'll be referencing them here. I'm not looking out my window to my backyard. It's the middle of the night. There's nothing there to see anyway. I'm looking at my notes. But I probably won't edit out me looking at notes either. So you guys are just going to have to deal. Okay, all right. Focus. So, in The Witcher, the Old World, you play as a Witcher, of course. And the base game is competitive. So, what do you do? Well, the objective is to get 4 trophies. Okay? Now, how do you get trophies? You get trophies by raising your abilities. We'll talk about those abilities soon. By hunting monsters. We'll talk about hunting monsters soon. And by fighting and defeating other Witchers. We'll talk about that soon as well. So those are the 3 ways that you're going to be gaining these trophies as a Witcher. And you have to get at least 4 of those, but one of those has to be a fight as well. You can't just be raising your stats. You can't just max level up. You got to fight something. Not like be a Witcher, be a monster. Well, that's fine, but you will be doing some combat in this game for sure. Okay, now let's go ahead and actually go over the basics before I kind of dive into the actual meat and potatoes, the game board itself. So, you have a player board. Now, here you have a basic shield. That's just essentially you don't get damage, instead that lowers in fighting. That's bog standard. Here you kind of have your actual level, your overall level. You raise levels by gaining a +1 of your level in all of your stats. So if you're level 1 here, then you need to be rank 2 on your combat, defense, alchemy, and swordsmanship, and then you get to level 2. When you get to level 2, you start drawing an extra card every turn. Eventually, you start drawing 2 extra cards every turn as you level up. So again, to get these levels, you have to raise your other ones. You have combat. Combat allows you to draw more cards in combat. Pretty self-explanatory. Defense allows you to have a higher shield level. You'll see the values on the left here. So for instance, your max shield is 4. So these last 2, it doesn't actually increase your shield level there, right? You're just getting the trophy essentially at the end there. But you can't raise your shield higher than it allows. Your alchemy allows you to drink more potions in combat, making you stronger. And then this last one here is actually unique for every single character. So this Aram, the School of the Wolf guy, he has swordsmanship. This is unique to him. Essentially, he will do 1 extra damage if he does a combo of 3. He builds off combos. If he's rank 2, he does a combo and draws a card. If he's rank 3, he does a damage and draws 3 cards, and then he starts doing more damage, but then drawing a few less cards too. But the more damage is obviously beneficial for sure. So that's kind of how that works. So there's a lot of symbology on everywhere that allows you to kind of do everything. This right here is a wager system. You can kind of bet on fights. If 2 witches are fighting, the other players of the team can bet. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know about the player board. So we're going to move on from that to action cards. These cards you're going to use in several different phases. I'm going to break down the sections, but we're going to talk about them separately. So there is a terrain symbol here. It'll either be a forest, a mountain, or a water or ocean. There will be a cost down here. There's a name. That doesn't matter. There's an art, but that doesn't matter. Well, art matters, but you know what I'm saying. And then up here, you'll be able to see the color that it is, and then what it can lead into. So this will do 2 damage, and then it can lead into a yellow, and that yellow will do an extra damage, or it could lead into a pink, and that pink would do an extra damage. And that's how you build combos, is by matching those colors. So if you played a yellow or a pink after this, you could, and then if they had more, you could keep chaining it down the line. Okay, moving on from that, we have the actual game board. So I'll explain this a little bit, but you'll see there's a 1 here, a 2 here, and a 3 here. So you have a phase 1, a phase 2, and a phase 3. Let's talk about phase 1, but before we dive into that, a few other layout rules here. Down here, you'll see this is a tracker for your actual trophies. And as you gain trophies, you are worth more money if people defeat you, so witches will be starting to hunt you for more money. And you actually have to start trashing some of your cards. That's a catch-up mechanic that they have. So as you actually get closer to winning, you actually have to trash some of your cards, which it always sucks no matter what, because they're all beneficial to you. And that's just to help slow it down a little bit so that you're not just running away with the lead. So both of those combined help make the game a little bit more balanced for everybody. So you're not just stomp at somebody, hopefully. So all right, you'll start in your little symbol. So the wolf school starts up here in the mountains. Now, what you do is you draw your cards, and you'll draw at the end, but the first round, obviously, you draw at the beginning, but you'll normally draw at the end of the round, and you use your cards by discarding them. We'll go back to here, that symbol there. So if I wanted to go down to Banard here, I would actually discard a symbol with an ocean on it. So I discard that card. I can come down here, and then anytime I visit a location, I may freely do an action as well. In this case, the action is to increase my alchemy if the alchemy is less than or equal to my level. This is, again, how you level up. So if we go back here, I'll be level 1, and they'll be level 1, so that's less than or equal to, so I'll increase it to 2. Once I do that to all of them, then I'll be level 2, and then I can start increasing to level 3. That's kind of how that works. Now, you'll notice, actually, at my home location, you'll see the little swordsmanship icon. That's important. Each one will have its own, so like the bears, for instance, will have their armor symbol here. And you'll see that for each school. So you can come down here, and all this shows here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. You can see that it costs gold to level up any one of these. This is one of the few locations you can do your special, probably something beneficial there for you. But I could then move back up by discarding a mountain and come up here, and I could spend 2 gold to raise it to level 2 or 3 gold to level 3 or whatever. And you only pick one, so I can do my combat, my defense, my alchemy, which I can't again because it can't go any higher than 1 above your level, or my swordsmanship. So turn 1, I can discard 2 cards, spend 2 gold, and raise 2 of my levels, just like that. And these obviously are the winding paths, so then I could do another mountain to come over here. What this does is if I spent my 2 gold, that let's say maybe I started with, if I have 0 gold, I gain 1, and it allows me to go on a trail. And there's a little gold that goes on with that trail. What that trail is there will be monsters on the board, and they will be at a specific place. So one monster will be on a forest. Don't know which one, just a random one. One will be on an ocean, and one will be on a mountain. So I pick, let's say the ghoul is here on a mountain, so I can pick a mountain. So I'll pick another mountain location. It'll be a random one. Let's say it's this one way down here. And so I'll put a little gold and a little token there. And what that means is I have to go there and somebody knows some information about the ghouls there. So I can go down there, and if I do that, I can complete that trail and I get that token. We'll talk about the token later. I'll also get the gold. But it just helps you against the monsters. So it helps to kind of investigate and plan your attack against some of the monsters. But moving on from that, again, you can't train at an opponent's thing, but obviously you can't train their special thing here. This is dice poker. So if you come here, you can play dice poker against the people in the tavern, and it's a simple 5 dice versus 5 dice. You get to re-roll. You're trying to get full houses or 3 of a kind or 2 pair or a flush or whatever it might be. And so that's kind of what that is there. And anytime you are in with another Witcher, you can ask them if they want to play dice poker, and then they can choose yes or no. You can also brawl with them to actually fight, and in that case, you just kind of attack them. They don't get a choice in that. If we move over here, this is a fun one. It's unique. And this one, again, you gain a gold if you don't have any. And you can trash 2 cards from the store. So there's a store here, and you can get rid of 2 of those cards to start moving more down. Or maybe you will really like this card here and you want to move it down there. I'll explain that a little bit later as well. We have an armor increase. These give you potions. So you can get a potion from there. Your potions will be located right here. And I think that's it for unique ones. The only other one, I guess, is this one right here, which allows you to pick any of your attributes and raise them by 1. So this area here, plus wherever your home is, are the only 2 areas where you can increase your special. In this case, the swordsmanship for the School of Wolves. I guess there is one more. There's this one as well. This one allows you to discard your card and get another card from the shop, essentially, of its value or +1. So if I go back to here, you'll see this is rank 2. Rank 2 is actually the highest, at least for now. So you could just get any other rank 2. But if you had a rank 0 one that you start out with, you could discard that and get either a 0 or a 1. But it is a trait, so you will trash this out of the game. You don't get to play with it again. And that's what you do. So you do that until you run out of cards. Let's say you draw 3 cards. You could either not move at all, or you could move once and do an action. You can move twice and do an action, or not. Or you can move 3 times and do an action. But eventually you'll either be out of cards, or you will be done moving where you want to move or what you want to do. And so then you will stop and proceed to the second phase. The second phase, you can either fight either a monster or a Witcher if you're in the same area, or you can go ahead and explore. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So when you explore, you pick, actually, there's going to be 2 decks here. It'll be either the inner city or the outskirts of the city. Either way, you're going to pick it, and it'll have kind of a little explanation about something that's going on, whether you're on a quest, whether you met somebody on the road, whether you're being attacked, whether you stumbled across a chest. All sorts of things can happen. Horses can appear on roofs. Anything is game in this game. So you will have the person to your right go ahead and read a little bit about it, and then list 2 options. They'll stop at the line. You pick the option, it'll tell you what to do. Sometimes you're just doing, different things. Maybe you got hurt. Maybe you actually learned something. Maybe you gained an item. Maybe you have the opportunity to go buy an item somewhere else. There are companions that can follow you. There's quests, like this one here has a quest in another mountain area. And then once you get to there, then they're going to read the event. Maybe they're like, hey, bandits have been coming around this area and we think they're located here. So then you go over there, and then somebody reads, number 27 here. And then maybe you actually have to go and fight them or tell them to knock it off, or, do whatever a Witcher does with bandits. But that's kind of how that goes. So they can be multi-chained as well, of course. So, or you can fight like the Griffin here. So if you are going to fight, you fight and they fight. Now, if you do not have their token, if you recall, I mentioned that if you go on a trail, right, and you go all the way down here and get the little mountain token, and then go fight the ghoul over here on the mountain, if you have the mountain token that matches that, then you get to fight first. In other words, you get to lead in the attack. And you can be strong enough, perhaps, to even kill them with that first attack if you've played your cards right and have done well. If you don't have their token, they attack first, okay? Let's go ahead and discuss attacks. So, we're attacking the Griffin. Here's the ghoul here. They will have a amount of health. They will have a rank, 1, 2, or 3, and then they will have kind of a special. It says during the player's first turn only, the monster may only discard up to 2 cards regardless of how much damage is dealt by the player. Discarding cards is your health. So your whole deck is your health. So the more cards you have, the more health you have. Because it's only when you're out of cards in both your deck and your hand, when you're out of cards completely, that you were defeated or they were defeated. So you'll have to have them discard 10 cards. But this is saying the first turn only, they're only discarding 2 regardless. So the trophy is only semi-helpful here a little bit. And it also means that you kind of have to go in planning that. For the ghouls, each one will be unique in that sense. So you're fighting the ghouls. And if you win, you get a trophy. This is an example of a trophy. Each school has a trophy, so you can fight let's say the bear player and earn their trophy if you defeat them, but then you can't earn another one. So it also kind of helps you prevent from, fighting other people. And they will each give you a special thing. For instance, if you defeat the ghoul, you'll read a little bit about this, you'll suffer a fatigue, and then at the end of your turn on a water location, you'll draw 1 potion. So you get kind of buffs like that, where you get a little bit better, right? And then, of course, you move up in that track. Now, let's talk about actual combat here. So you have these cards here that you've been using to move around. You're going to use these in each phase. That's why I wanted to discuss them beforehand. In this phase, in the fight phase, you're not caring about the actual symbol here or even the cost. All you care about is up here. So like I said, you could come here and gain 2 shield and then lead, and then you could play any yellow card after that. So you're going to play the yellow card and it'll do 1 damage. Plus allow you to draw back a card. So it's kind of like a nice little heal, which is kind of nice because you gained a card. Remember, your cards are your health. This can lead to a purple or a red. Let's say you do a red. Red are almost always, if not always, combo finishers. They typically don't lead into anything. And this one, the crushing blow, allows you to do 3 damage and you'll draw 1 less card this round. So spend a little extra time doing the crushing blow, but probably worthwhile. So in this one, you've gained 2 shields, you've gained back a card, and you did 4 damage in total. So that's kind of how you would go play that. And then you would play those, and then the enemy would choose whether to bite or charge. It's the person to your right that's going to be playing that, and that's all. They just pick bite or charge, and then they'll flip over their card, and I'll go ahead and talk about potions in a little bit, and do the charge or the bite. In this case, the charge is 3 damage. And if they actually chose bite, well, then you are actually having to lower your alchemy level by 1 and take damage according to the monster level. In this case, just 1, but you lost an alchemy level, which really hurts. Now, you can use potions, and again, your alchemy level depends on how many you can use. And this one says play a single additional card with your combo, ignoring the color extensions. In this case, you could play another red here, even though it doesn't extend, or a purple, or whatever you want. You can play any card you want at the end. Very nice to have potions for sure. So Blizzard, one of my favorites. That's why I picked it to show you guys. Okay, so either way, that's fighting. You go until you lose cards, and that's it. Now, I do want to tease this. This is just still work in progress, obviously, but in my review, I talked about how I wished monsters felt a little bit different. They are working on it. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you pause it if you want to look at it, but suffice it to say, I had to beg and plead and fight to show this for you guys, but Lucas was kind enough to allow me to do that, so here is a sneak peek that only you guys have. I'm glad I'm able to show it to you guys. I think it's super cool for sure. As you can see, there's some healing down there. Okay, and this is much different than the feed card and the other one, which just says that if something happens at the end of the fight. This is obviously much more nuanced and makes them a little bit unique. Okay, now, in the last phase, let's go back over here. So we've done that. We've either explored or fought, and now we get to pick a card. We always get to pick a card. There'll be a deck of cards here, and they'll lay them down here. The first 2 add a +1. So if you recall, I said, if I can find the card here, this costs 2, right? So there'll be 0, 1, or 2. If you're looking at this, this would be actually a 3 if it was there, right? There'd be a 2 here, and it'd be actually only cost you a 1 here. So it's kind of the small world kind of scenario where you're placing gold in there. They become more and more desirable, and you definitely want them when they're down here. But if you wait too long, somebody else might grab it as well. So you're going to have to decide what your card you're going to grab and why. Now, to actually do that, you're discarding cards. So again, you are taking these cards and using them. In this case, you draw right before you do this. So you draw, so you have your hand, and now you can discard to pay for them. Now, if you grab a 0-1, you just gained a card. If you discard 1, then you just swapped with the other card. And if you discard 2, you actually have 1 card less now, but eventually that will be recycled back into your hand and in your deck, and you've still gained a strong card for it. And that's really it. That's how you play. You keep doing this round after round until somebody gets enough trophies. You level up and you're going on quests and you're fighting monsters and you're playing dice poker and you're doing, all these other events and you're gaining new abilities that you know now, and just that's pretty much the game. So let's go and talk about the Kickstarter now. Now, this is a preview page, granted. Okay, so just flat out preview page. Okay, so you guys will have a live version. Again, link is down below. One thing to note, their estimate here of 305,000 is a fair estimate. I know you guys mention a lot of times that you care about that. If you care about that, let them know. Because they could have put $50 on there, but they didn't. They put an actual estimate there, so props to them for that, obviously. We're just going to go down the list here. There is a day 1 gift. So if it'll be by backer number, so you have to back, and you can't do the dollar pledge to earn this. You need to actually put money towards it. It's a way to obviously reward people that are willing to fund this being a thing. Now, I suspect that'll be fine anyway, but that's kind of the whole point, is the people that are actually willing to put their money into it right up front and really kind of be early adopters in that before, the people see, oh, it's earned like $3 million. Of course I'll back it. I feel confident. It's the people who are backing right away, saying, I trust in you, game on board to make a good game. That's the reward there. Otherwise, it will cost you about $10 later on. Now, this is in euros. I'm doing rough estimates on the USD euro conversion. Obviously, that will change, especially once it comes time for the pledge manager, which will be in the future. But day 1 gift, you get the mounted Aridin miniature. Super cool. He is able to be used in the standard game and in the Wild Hunt expansion. I'll explain that in a little bit. Okay, you'll notice there are two pledge levels here. There is the 70 euro and the 125 euro. The 70 euro one, which is about $86 right now at the time of recording, gets you both the old world game and the Wild Hunt expansion. So you get both of those. You just don't get the 15 monster miniatures. Instead, there will be tokens. This is the only difference here. Okay, the deluxe box costs 125 euro, which is $153 approximately for American money, for real money, and you get the 15 monster miniatures. Now, there will be applicable stretch goals, so if they are unlocking stretch goals and it's a monster miniature, well, obviously, then the deluxe box gets the miniature and the standard box is going to get a token. So that's kind of how that works. And there might be some where they're only added even in the Wild Hunt because it only works in co-op because they have special mechanics. I'll explain that perhaps in a little bit as well. So moving on down from that, it lists everything it does, and there'll be 7 language versions as well. I'll talk about that at the very end. If we go through the content, it's just going to show you some of the things. You kind of see what's all involved here. These are dual layer boards. Here's some of the monster minis. Very good looking minis. Really like that. There is a wolf, +1 for the wolf. Dig that. There's even a werewolf. You get 2 wolves. One's just kind of like a person. And then, of course, all your various cards and whatnot as well. And dice for the, dice poker and just anything you could want. Okay, here is the Wild Hunt. Now, the Wild Hunt is essentially the solo and co-op expansion. It comes with the Aridin miniature, and he is kind of either the final boss in the competitive mode, or he's here. He's always on the board. He's like buffing the monsters around him and doing bad things to you if you get stuck with them, and so he's constantly there, and he has his own special fight cards that he adds that are thematic for him, and then of course all stretch goals as well. Right now there's only one add-on. It's going to be the mounted Aridin miniature if you don't get it day 1. Otherwise you get it for free. It's about $10. It is a Kickstarter exclusive, and like I said, it can be used in both modes, solo co-op or the regular competitive mode. That being said, as a little tease and as kind of a blanket statement, I imagine that if you were to be in this world and you were gonna like stand at like the edge of the map, and if you really squinted, I bet you could see some potential. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyway, there's definitely exciting things ahead in this campaign. So really looking forward to them diving deep into some of the mechanics and showing off some really cool things. There's a gameplay trailer, of course, and they'll list some stretch goals once they fund, but they're really focused on funding right now. There's some, high level stuff. I'll let you guys know about all this, so you don't need to worry about any of that. There's some reviews. There's a handsome fella right there. And now we're at the actual kind of estimated shipping. They say a year or less. They are quite far in production, or in like talks with production, stuff like that, with game development. They're even testing some of their hopeful stretch goals that they hope to unlock and stuff like that. So they're really getting big into that. So they're estimating May 2022 is kind of what they're going for here. And you will notice no extra custom charge. They do not charge an additional VAT. And I confirmed what that meant is you will not be charged VAT. There will not be a future VAT charge. I've said it because Lucas said it. So if it's wrong, don't hurt me. But no, it's seriously, I think that's great. That's really good. Here are the shipping estimates for the US, which is, all I care about. It's about $25. That is based off of a deluxe box, which is the game with the extra minis. It's not including add-ons or potentially maybe even some stretch goals, which obviously would add dimension and weight. So it varies slightly. However, talking about varying slightly, this is important for you guys. If you multiply the pledge, you actually don't add a bunch in shipping. It's very little in shipping to add more. So group pledges will save you a ton of money on shipping, if like propagated out, right? So that's super awesome, especially if you live in an area like rest of Asia or rest of the world where it's a little bit higher. You definitely want to maybe get with a buddy or a few people in your local area and maybe order together so you can save on that, because that is a big drop in shipping cost. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to note is all of the 7 languages and who's doing them. If you care about that, obviously you can look at that here and kind of see that. And stretch goals. Okay, so stretch goals, I can't really talk about too much, but I imagine that we'll see more monsters, more like events and explorations, enhancements to the game, that sort of thing. I want to say the typical stuff, but the typical kind of, here's more content, here's making the content that's there better kind of thing, right? Whatever that might be for this game, I'm sure that's what Game On Board is going to be focusing on, is making this as good of a deal and as good of an experience as they can. And I think both of those lead into that. And that's it. I don't want to, bother you guys too much with it. I know, these videos can get kind of long. I get kind of rambly, but, no, there's a lot of good stuff here for sure. So really excited about that. So, that's it. I'll go and let you guys go. Again, there is a link down below to the description. And if you appreciate the 4 videos I did last week, if you appreciate me recording this really late so I can get it to you on time, because they're launching at like 8 a.m. my time, which means I will be at work. So I will be busy working when this launches, but I'll try and pop in and say hi to a few of you guys, especially early on. So if you just watch this, go ahead and say hi. Leave a like on your way out. That's all I ask. Whether if this video was helpful or if it just wasn't bad, I would appreciate it, because I do put the time and effort into this to help you guys out, and I hope it is indeed helpful. Because otherwise, why am I doing it? I'd be sleeping right now, not recording a video. But I love it. I love helping you guys out any way that I can. I'll be talking about a few more videos this week. There is going to be a big Kickstarter video, and there's going to be a big topic video as well that I really, really want to get out to you guys. I think it's really important. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't want to miss those, again, there is that subscription button. With that, take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys again really soon.